Started.
Abdo 20 from, where is that? Libya. Okay, e4. Let's see. Well, we've done a Sicilian, a French. How about an Alekhine's defense? Something different. See how it goes. Okay. Just supporting the pawn. That's a reasonable way of playing. Let's see. Can I play bishop to g4 here? Pin the knight. Get this bishop out of the pawn chain. I want to play the move e6 to stop the e-pawn from coming forward, give this bishop a square, and also open up the line from the bishop to the d-pawn so I can take back with the bishop here. And so I thought it'd be nice to get the bishop outside the pawn chain first. Often white will play with bishop to c4 trying to kick this knight, or pawn to c4 kicking the knight. So this is a different way of playing. There's bishop c4. Okay, now I have to be careful. If the knight goes away and he sacrifices the bishop here, then he has knight here check, and the king moves, and then the queen can grab the bishop because I can't protect that bishop. So I need to defend the knight. I can't move it because of the soft spot on f7, and that also opens up a line for the queen to take the knight back. If the knight should hop in here. Well, the knight's defended by the bishop there, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, there's no more bishop and knight combining on f7. So now if he takes, it doubles these pawns, but yeah, it's not too horrible, I don't think. Let's go ahead and no, let's move the bishop out first, and then I want to play knight to c6 next. That's often where you want to put it. It's more pressure against the center. You're going after this strategy of undermining the center here. But I want to be able to castle in case things open up quickly. For example, anytime he takes this bishop and I take back with the pawn, it starts to open up the the e file. Right now, bishop takes, pawn takes, pawn takes. I can take back with the queen or the pawn. The bishop is pinned, but it's well enough protected, so I guess there's no big threat there. Okay, now he really is intensifying the pressure on the knight. But now I can also play knight to b6, hitting his bishop, because there's no more sacrifice on f7. Okay, normally the bishop just drops back to b3. Could also go to d3, or could also come here to pin this knight. But I'm going to castle right away, so the pin is not going to be in effect for very long. So I would say d3 or b3 are logical. Probably I would prefer d3. I think the bishop is going to be more active there, because on b3 I could close up the center with the move d5 there. On bishop b3. He takes. Okay. His bishop is hanging. My bishop is hanging. If I take his bishop, he takes mine, then I get the pawn back. And then he can push on with d5. So I think I should just take with the pawn here. His bishop is still hanging, so I don't think he has room or time. I don't think he has time to play d5. And he's trying to play this in an interesting way. This knight here on c6 is now vulnerable a little bit to this d5 push. It hits the pawn and the knight, and when the knight moves, I don't necessarily want this exchange. This exchange is not too bad for me. I take it back. Bishop takes is okay. especially if I get rid of this bishop here. Okay, so the bishop just dropped back. So if I castle now and he plays d5, I can just take it, I think. So I'm not too worried at this point. And yeah, okay, so he went there. So knight takes, knight takes. If I take with the pawn first, maybe it's going to leave me with this backwards d pawn. Maybe that's his idea here. Yeah, so he can just take this, and then he gets a queen there, and I can drop my queen, my bishop. I can drop my bishop back to e6. They're kicking his queen. You know, there's also knight to b4, forking the queen on the c2 pawn. And the queen will drop back to defend that. Then I can coordinate on c2 with the bishop.
Incoming challenge.
Oh, okay, he's going to resume.
Game started.
Ah, good. So let's see. He got his time back. And what was the last move? Yeah, I played there. Okay, so he took with the queen. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. So I was thinking about this move, knight to b4 here. His queen could fork the knight and the bishop, though. I take here attacking the rooks. He takes bishop. I take the rook. Well, it's interesting. Let's try it. He can play queen to c. He can play queen here. Oh, yeah, or there. Right. It defends c2, attacks the bishop, and attacks the knight. Yeah, that's a nice maneuver there. So the bishop on f5 here is not defended. Okay, so I have to bail out. I can take here with a tempo, but I'm going to lose some material here maybe. If he takes back with the bishop, he's hitting here. Yeah, so I have to bring the knight back. I guess I didn't, yeah. Okay, I'm escaping by the skin of my teeth. He was also threatening to take this bishop. So I lost time. I didn't actually lose material. So kind of a lucky escape there. And yeah, it was a good transaction for him because now he has the bishop pair as well as the open files. So it didn't work out. Okay, so I need to play rook to b8, I guess, so that I can move my knight. And then I'm going to play knight to knight to e5 here to try and get out of here and hit his bishop. Maybe trade his bishop off. Bishop to f6 looks interesting. Looking at his rook there too. Knight to knight to e5 there also shields the bishop. And when I take here, it's with check. So I'm still keeping my material. And bishop f6 next to get my bishop out of danger. Unless he allows me to take his bishop, I would take that light squared bishop there. Get rid of the bishop pair. And then try and maybe go after these weak pawns here. I may have created some weaknesses here by playing badly and encouraging him to push his pawns forward. I may have created some weaknesses. Okay, oh, that's good. He just moved his bishop there. He's attacking. Okay, so I'm going to get my bishop out of the way. He had a threat of f4, kicking my knight and trying to win, once again, win material on win the bishop on e7 there. So get the knight out of the way. Now my knight can move with tempo and I can grab the rook. Knight here check, bishop or pawn takes, and bishop takes rook in the corner. But he just has to move his bishop out to defend against that. Maybe bishop here. If he puts his bishop here, I still have that tactic as a way of just trading off bishops, winning the bishop pair. Okay, let's see. How long has he been thinking this time? 341 to 258. So he's still, I guess he's still connected. Make sure I'm still connected. Okay, there he goes. Yeah, he got his rook out of danger, so he spotted that idea. That's the trouble with these good players. They spot these ideas. Okay, let's start pushing this pawn forward. I know there's an isolated queen's pawn, but if I advance it far enough, maybe it'll have some positive influence on the game. Also secure another square for my knight. That's funny. There's this kind of tactic here with knight to c4 to a3, hitting his rook, and his rook doesn't have many squares. Can't go to these dark squares because the bishop could come up here. Then maybe I could grab on c2 once again. Yeah, I think rook, now that I've sealed this diagonal for the moment, rook to c8, and then try and pile up on that. Let's see, does the tactic work here? Knight to c4, the queen moves. No, that doesn't help. Okay, and he's also looking at this pawn. So let's just play sensibly, play b3 to defend the pawn, and then rook to c8, and then think about knight to c4 here. Yeah, so he goes there. I have knight here hitting the queen, or knight c4 hitting the queen. Queen moves and then I can take the bishop. Is that good? Let's try it. This doesn't go, oh, this goes with a tempo on the queen. Bishop takes, knight takes, bishop takes queen, and the knight's not taking another piece. So after bishop takes, I have to take with the queen. So that was just a nice way he had of liquidating. So after bishop takes, queen takes, then he just moves his queen somewhere. Of course, the material is even, so it's not entirely clear that liquidating will be so great. And I will have gotten rid of the bishop pair. Interesting. Yeah, I think bishop takes f6 is the only move. I don't see that I have any great thing other than taking back. Yeah, and then he can just move his queen somewhere. I have the idea of knight a3 forking the this pawn and this pawn. And my bishop is still on this dark, I mean my queen is still on this dark diagonal here. Interesting. Yeah, that's a good move. He protects a3 and attacks my my d-pawn. Okay, a rook to the d file. So which rook? Do I want to? Maybe I'll bring this rook to the d file so that my other rook can go to the c file when the knight moves and have an attack on the open, on the c-file. And fortunately, there's no more dark squared bishops, so I'm not getting skewered along this diagonal here. I have to watch out for the light squares, but the dark squares are not a problem. He has a loose bishop here, but I haven't seen a tactic against it. And his rooks are connected, his queen's protected. Knight here would fork the queen and the bishop, but it's not so easy to get my knight to there. He's really taking his time. Is he going to actually lose on time here, or is he... Okay, 20 minutes. So, knight here, knight to e5, forks the bishop and the queen. And that alleviates some pressure on this pawn. Otherwise, yeah, it's hard to defend that pawn, so I think this is the right idea. If he takes, I can just take back, so I don't think there's a sacrifice here. My back rank is well enough protected at the moment. My king could get mated here because I don't have any luft, but I have two rooks there. And his rooks are not yet all aimed at the back rank. This one is aimed at the b pawn. Yeah, down to 10 seconds here. Okay, so I was thinking bishop takes, knight takes bishop, just so I don't have to be defending this pawn all the time. But actually I could push on. But, well, let's think about it. Knight takes bishop, queen takes, pawn takes, and then his pawn structure is as ugly as mine. But he has lift for his king. Probably it's better for me to keep material on. Okay, so I'm just pushing the pawn forward, getting it away from the bishop. Still thinking of rook c8, knight c4 as an idea. And well, it helps me create this backward c-pawn that I can pile up on. So rook c8 is probably a good idea anyway. He was attacking my a-pawn and I didn't notice that. That is bad. That's the kind of the way I've been playing lately. Okay, this pawn is defended. The queen's attacking here. Let's go after his c-pawn. I could have taken the bishop too, gotten the pawn back. But then he would have grabbed the b pawn, huh?
White forfeits on time.
Okay, well, that was a time win, but an interesting game, so I will upload this and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.